Hello everybody and welcome back to Thrill Builds Gaming. So today what I've been doing is I've been building out the courtyard for the main entrance to the park. So at the moment I'm laying out the path for where some of the buildings are going to be going, where the fountain's going to be going, just to get a rough feel of what the central courtyard's going to look like. And this area will have some food stalls, some drink stalls, some toilets, and a staff room, as well as our first train station for move the people mover around the park. So at the moment I'm playing about with the train tools, which I hardly ever use in this game. As you can probably tell, there's some big pits there, and this is going to be the pond fountain sort of area. So yeah, it's I have to say it's starting to look like it's coming together. So I'm playing about with the water, which is something I've only used once, I think. And then I thought it'd be nice to have a nice little fence going around this area. But first, I was playing about with some of the different water effects that we can have. So having never used these and just experimenting, so these could change. So if you've got any ideas or tips or other ones that could be used, let me know in the comments down below and we can swap them out. So I thought this one was quite dramatic, so I decided to stick that one in. And then I thought, oh, that one's a bit big. I'll spray people about everywhere, so I didn't use that one. And I just sort of experimented with all the different ones that are there, not knowing what they do, where they go, how they work. Just stick them in and see what works. So I ended up going for these strip ones, but that one was a bit too dramatic. So I ended up going for some of the smaller strip ones and then some of these little sprayers in the corners, because I was in the mindset that this is a castle. I want it to feel sort of medieval but fairy tale sort of at the same time. So they tried to be quite symmetrical back then, but I know I'm veering into the asymmetrical. It's not quite symmetrical. So this fence, it took me so long to put this fence in, and to try and keep everything straight and lined up was just a nightmare. But I did play about with the duplicate tool. So I did one row and then I used the multi-selector and I played with the duplicate, and I did one side that way because this not being symmetrical didn't quite work that way. And with having curved corners, also the duplicate tool was not great for that. But I know where it is and how to use it now, so in the future that will come in quite handy. So there we go, I duplicated a side and it looked alright, except that end one. So then I started doing the rest of the fencing around a little fountain area, which it doesn't look like much now, but in my humble opinion, once we finished this part, it actually looked pretty good in my mind. So as we're playing about with the fence, so in this whole episode, we're going to be looking at this main courtyard bit and putting in some of the first food stalls, drink stalls, toilets, staff room, and starting to do some theming. And it really does start to come together, and I hope you'll get a sense of what my vision is for this sort of central entry point. So I thought this fence was quite nice actually. It makes me think of some of the gardens I've got around me that are in castle estates. It does go a little bit wonky. I am going to have to go back and fix that bit. But yeah, I thought this is quite nice. It's coming together. My vision is coming together. If any of you are building a theme park in Planet Coaster, let me know in the comments what you're building, because I know what my vision's starting to be. And then we got to this end bit, and I thought, oh, it doesn't line up, which was really annoying. So rather than fix the whole thing, I thought I'm just gonna rotate that one a little bit, and then it'll match up, and it's fine. Because what I wanted to then do was some planting. So I got these trees, and I thought a tree in each corner. We love a good tree, they're good for the environment, they look amazing. So we've gone and stuck a tree in each corner. And then we need some bushes. You can't go wrong with a good bush, a tree in a bush. Who doesn't love a tree in a bush? So I stuck those in the corners again, trying to go for that symmetry, but not quite symmetrical. And yeah, then after some bushes, what do we need next? We need some plants. So got some roses. We like roses, they're good. We want to keep the bees happy. So put some roses in the corners. It's looking quite nice. And then I was thinking about some of these planters, these potted plants, but they kept snapping, and I decided I didn't want to play about with that, so the planters didn't make it in. They didn't make the cut. And then we need some seating, because when you go to a theme park and there's a nice fountain, you want somewhere nice to sit down and eat your lunch. If you haven't bought food, you've probably got a packed lunch, so you need somewhere to sit and eat it. So, but where do you want to face the fountain? Why would you? You want that nice mist to be hitting the back of your neck to cool you down. You've been wandering around a theme park all day. So yeah. And then some bins. Now, I have a love-hate relationship with bins in this game, because people keep kicking them over, even if I do have security wandering about the place, and security cameras. So yeah. And then my prestige and park rating just plummets. And now we got some nice lights going in. Now I know we're going for the castle look, but I wanted these Victorian sort of street lights because I thought they kind of go with the vibe. So that's our fountain done, which is looking a little bit out of place at the moment. But now we're going to start moving on to building some of the actual buildings within this courtyard. So they're still not full, big, massive scale castle buildings, but they're sort of like your inner courtyard sort of buildings. So a great hall sort of look and an armory sort of look. So I'm starting off with these castle foundations with the slanted walls. And I'm leaving some gaps, which is where some archways will go for where the food stalls go. So this first building has the food and a staff room in it. So I started putting in the archways where I'm going to put the buildings. And when this part goes into dusk and night, it actually looks quite nice. Yeah, I'm a little bit biased, but I think it looks quite nice. So I put in some windows, because what I've done is I've put lights on the inside so that at night it sort of lights up and looks like it's lived in. I do like this castle, but there's a little bit of me wishing I'd used different stones or different rock fill. But then I have to keep reminding myself we've got the fairy tale land later, and that can have more of the cartoony Disney pristine castle sort of feel. And I'm getting the hang of building with these tools. So hopefully the buildings will get more spectacular as we go along. And it doesn't mean we can't come back later and fix up these buildings. So I'm adding in, are these called the parapets? No. Are they? I can't remember what they're called. Anyway, that's the shell of our building done. So now I'm adding in some food buildings, and the first one I wanted was burgers. I love a good burger when I go out. And burritos. And that first one decided to go into the floor a little bit. So had to move it and raise it up. And there's our burger store and our burrito store. They're in. And then I decided I wanted a little wall down the bottom to try and cover that up as much as possible. And there we go, we've got people flocking in already. They're just desperate to get into the adventure realm. And then added a staff room. Now, if anyone has any tips on how to keep staff happy in this game, that would be absolutely amazing. Because my staff are always quitting. Especially the vendors. They're unhappy and they have a too high a workload. I'm just like, you have a staff room. I have excess vendors, spare ones wandering about. What more do you want from me? How do I keep them happy? So if anyone can tell me how to keep these staff happy, please let me know. Because even by the end of this video, they're quitting. And how can you be unhappy? There's like 20 people in this building, in this park. So if you can tell me how to keep these staff happy, that would be great, because I hate the big red notice coming up saying that the burrito stand has been without a vendor for so long, or multiple venues without a vendor. And so, oh, come on. Then, just to add to that castle feel, I started adding some decorations. I wanted a nice gargoyle. I do like a gargoyle, so I stuck one of them on. A shield. And then, what would a castle be without a flag? Stuck up a flag. We do like a flag. So yeah, this is building one nearly complete. And now I'm going to go in and start adding some flame torches to the walls, so that when it's nighttime, get that sort of fire effect coming out of the window holes, and it just kind of, it looks nice. It gives it a nice feel. Plus, I can just imagine if I was working at this park and I was a member of staff in here, I would probably go into this back area just to chill. And it would be, yeah, be a cool place to hang out. Probably filthy and full of spiders and bugs and stuff, but yeah, be quite a cool place to chill. So now I'm just going to finish off putting on the flagstones on the roof, and then that'll be building one pretty much done. I wish there may be a way, maybe one of you can tell me, but I wish there was a way for it to remember what height I was working at, so that I don't have to keep raising up all these flagstones, because once you get to the end and that last one or the last couple, and you're trying to get into that gap and you raise it up and you realize you're in the wrong space, it gets a little bit annoying. So now we're adding in a path to the staff room, and now I'm going to start doing some little bit of landscaping and decorating outside. So we need some bushes. You can never have too many bushes, because even though this should only be a place that staff go, I want it kind of hidden away, and I wanted to draw the guest's eyes away from that back entrance. So I've added in that animatronic knight with some tents, a little flower cart, just to make it look a little bit more lived in around here. The jester was a bit too big, so I didn't add him, but I did add some more trees, because I thought this castles are normally not in a main town. Well, some of them are, but they're usually outside and the town's growing up around them, and you tend to get a lot more wildlife. Now we're adding in some picnic benches, because we need somewhere to eat those extortionate burgers. And as you can see, at night you can just get that light coming out of those windows, and it does kind of look, it looks really nice, I think. So now we're going to build building 2. So building 2 has the drink space, information kiosk, and some toilets. And for this one, I wanted it to be a bit slightly different. So I've gone for that curved corners, because I thought this one could be the armory. So that first building would have been something like the Great Hall or the Banquet Hall or something. And then this one would be the Armory. And you would have the curved corners so that cannonballs, if you're under siege, are less likely to cause damage. So yeah, so I've gone for the curved look on this one. Again, added in the archways for where the little kiosks are going to go. And then some more windows, because we're going for that similar. We're going to have the torches on the inside so that it lights up quite nicely at night. Now, I say it's an armory, but I seem to have covered the entire thing in windows. So that's either easy entry for some invading soldiers, or so that if we are under siege, you could just fire all those arrows and cannons out of the building. Either or, I thought it looked quite nice. So again, I'm adding in the parapets, so that looks more castle-like. Really, it should be way bigger, way taller, but we are just in the inner courtyard. We've got the walls to go around yet. So I'm adding in these torches on the outside so that it lights up quite nicely at night. And yeah, I'll start sticking in the food kiosks and everything. I did think about adding in some of these doors, but I decided not to because I didn't think it didn't feel quite right. And then I thought, do I stick some glass in these actual holes so that it looks more lived in, more realistic? But I couldn't figure it out. And then I came across all the food store signs, so I thought, let's add a massive burger onto this castle. And I'm not sure about these. Realistically, you would have a little sign that says what it is. So I found that wooden one for the burger. And then I was looking for the burrito sign, and none of them seemed to fit, which, why would you have a burrito sign that fits in on a castle? So I haven't done that to all of the stores because I'm not quite sure that that's what I want. But if you have any opinions on that, let me know. So there's my toilets. The toilets are in, we're all good. We can go to the bathroom now in this park. Stick in the information kiosk because it's going to be quite a big park. You might need a map. So there's our information kiosk in a very easy to find space by the fountain. We've got a milkshake stand and a coffee stand, because if you come in here with your children, you're probably going to need a coffee. It's going to be a long day. This place is going to be huge. Now, I do realise there's a lot of empty space in here, so what I thought was, in the future, would it be a good idea to actually open these up to the public and have them come into the castle to get all the food, and then have like a central seating area inside the building? So that is a possibility for the future. So if you have any thoughts on that, let me know, because I think actually that could be a good idea. I would rather sit inside a castle and have some food than sit outside of a castle on a bench and have food, because being in Scotland, it's always raining, and yeah, I'd rather sit in an abandoned castle eating a burger than having a soggy burger outside. Again, I've stuck a load of the flame torches around the inside so that it lights up at night. And now we're going to add on the flagstone roof. I'm hoping that I will get used to where all of these things are when I'm going into the catalogue to find the pieces. And yeah, this is going a lot smoother than it did building the gatehouse, so yeah. Saying that, I am only building basically boxes at the moment. So once we get onto more intricate things like temples and sci-fi builds, this could go a little bit awry. But yeah, I think it's coming together, and I decided to be a little bit adventurous with this one. I decided, well, I'm going to put in the paths first. So I'm not a massive fan of that path. And then I stuck that one in, and I'm thinking, oh, I need to move some stuff there. So yeah, I decided I want a tower. So I decided to stick a tower on top of this one. So here we go, building a tower because, yeah, why not? It's a castle, it needs a tower. So here we go, building a nice round tower. Got the nice little windows so that we can shoot arrows out at any invading armies. And just having a play. And then I found this and I thought, well, a tower needs a tower attached to it. So I stuck one of those on. And then I had to figure out how to roof this. Originally, I did want to use a pointed roof, but it didn't fit, so I didn't do that. And then I came across this, so I thought, there we go, that'll do. Stick that on. Does the round roof fit? No, it still looks stupid. So we'll put this on instead. And then move that so it looks more realistic. Oh, there's a massive hole. What do I do with this hole? We need some stone to go around the hole. So we'll fill in the hole with some stones and cap it off. There we go. Nice little tower. Now I'm thinking it would have been better if it was thinner at the bottom and got wider as it went up. But that's possibly a bit beyond me just now. So yeah, got a nice little tower, and then I wanted to put some torches on the inside. And this was a kerfuffle because I've put the roof on before I put the details on the inside. So I had to try and sneak into this little tower. But it's coming together, it looks quite nice. I did wonder, could I put a torch inside the little tower? But no, you can't get inside it. So we'll just put the flame torches on the inside. And yeah, I do like these buildings. I know they're not the best, but for someone that's not done this before, I think it's starting to come together. And then, it's a castle, it needs a banner. So we stick on the banner, a nice little signal. And then another one, just in case you missed the massive 12-meter tall one, you need another one there. And it matches the shield and the flag, so that we're all one big happy castle family in here. So now I'm going to start doing some decorating around the outside. So I thought, well, we need a nice little loot tent for people to look at as they're wandering about, protected by our good knights. And you can't go wrong with... I was either looking for a fountain, but it was a bit too big, but we've got a fountain at the back. So, let's stick in some trees. We've got a nice little tent hanging out. Bushes, you can't go wrong with some bushes. So this is us getting into the landscaping bit now. So we need more benches, some more seating. You've got your coffee, your kids are driving you nuts. You need someone to sit down and drink your coffee and pretend that you're interested. Try and calm them down, but they're having a milkshake, so they ain't calming down, they're getting pumped full of sugar. So it's a nice seating area going in. Bins, because I hate litter. I was driving home the other night and someone threw a McDonald's bag out the window and I thought, really? Really? You couldn't just take that home or put it in the bin when you get some? I hate people littering. I hate it. So yeah. And then I wanted to put some vines going up this, but I know you can rotate things on the X, Y, and Z axis, but I'm not quite confident enough to do that yet. Maybe, we will be having a play about with that once we get into the jungle area. I'm going to have to. And then, but I found that nice floral vine. And then some rocks. I had this whole story going in my head. that they built this castle and there was some angry chief of another clan somewhere, and they were throwing rocks at them with a catapult, and it nearly hit, but it didn't quite, and the rock's too big to move, so they just left it there. Going in, putting in some more light so that it looks very nice at night time again. And I would hate to pay the electricity bill here. Oof, could you imagine? So yeah, the staff need a little light as well, just to get to their staff room. You know, they're going to be exhausted. This place is going to be heaving. So yeah, and now we're just going to go through, put in some more plants and some more bushes, make the place look nice. There comes out the planted box again, but again, I didn't want to play about with it, so I went for some tulips instead. And then some more roses, sink them into the ground, make them look like they look pretty. You know, the king comes out and picks some roses for his queen. That's quite nice. Nice little story there. Put in some more flowers. So we got this really rustic looking castle surrounded by pretty flowers and bushes, and just make it look nice, appealing to the guests. And then over here, let's stick in some more trees. Some shade in the summer, help you cool down. So yeah, and then some more bushes, because we all love a good bush. Yeah, just dot them about. Yeah, make it look organized chaos. Stick some different flowers in there. And there we go. And then I was looking for some statues, got distracted. So I think I know what I was looking for, but then I didn't put it in. The night battle is going somewhere. So I found the market. There you go. When you look at it at night, you got to admit that does look quite nice. And when the whole place is done up, it's going to look phenomenal, I think. And as I keep doing this game and keep playing it, it's going to get better. And now we're coming on to the last bit, where we're building the first train station for the transporter around the park. So I've gone for a steam train because a monorail I don't think would fit in. So I needed to decide what kind of people mover I wanted, so I've gone for this one. And I want them to get on at one side and get off at another, and I've done it the wrong way round. So back in, change that. Trying to work out in my head what way's left, what way's right, and now adding in the entrance and exit. So for the train station, I wanted it to have that same feel as the castle, but I also wanted it to feel a bit like a Victorian sort of cargo station. Kind of platform 9 3/4, but not quite. So the whole thing is just arches, because if you were loading in the cargo, you would need easy access to all the carriages on the train. So that's how I've done this one. And then a big archway at the end, at the two ends of the station, because it's maybe a bit too big, but I couldn't find a smaller arch, so they've gone for this massive one that looks a bit precarious on the sides there. But it'll work. It'll work. And then windows all around to let the steam out, the smoke out from them loading up the trains. So this one was a bit of a quicker build than a castle. So yeah, I think the hardest part for this one was using a pitched roof rather than a flat roof. It wasn't hard, it was the finding the pieces. I still don't know where all the pieces are. So yeah. And I thought this one looks a bit like most castles would have kind of a, what do you call it? A little church. I wasn't looking for the chapel. They would mostly have, most of them will have some kind of a chapel within their ground. And I thought, well, this could have been the chapel of the castle that's been converted into a train station, because, you know, the Victorians, they weren't one for preserving things. So they've just taken an old chapel, knocked out both ends, and stuck in a platform. And that's what I kind of envisioned this one being. So there we go. I should put a steeple on it to make it feel more chapel-y, or a clock tower or something. That I'm going to write that down. I should add a steeple. So yeah, we're coming to the end and putting in the entranceway. And so this exit path isn't going to stay, I don't think, because I've not laid any of the track. But yeah, I think that's going to have to change, because originally I wanted a bridge over the track, because in real life you wouldn't have train tracks going up over a path, because it's a lot harder for a train to go up and back down than it is for a person or a car to go up and down. So that will be changing. It's just in there. I was going to put in a train station sign, but I couldn't find one that would suit, so going to have to go back and do that. So yeah, we're coming to the end. Add in some more lights, some decorations. I think I go in, yep, and add in some lanterns along all the walls, so that when you're boarding it at night, it's nicely lit up. I think it looks quite atmospheric in there. I think it needs a little bit more decoration on the inside to make it feel like a cargo terminal. I don't know what happened there. I turned the camera and I flew away. So that was interesting. So yeah, it does look quite nice. I think adding a steeple on would work. Yes. I'm trying to think of some parish churches that I have around me. And now I'm just going in hunting through all the different kind of decorations and objects that we have in the game, because I've not had a lot of play about with all these different assets that are available. So yeah, trying to find different things. It's taken me a while, but I'm starting to learn where things are. So I found that nice little planter. I thought let's stick that outside the train station. Ooh, there's a water trough. Let's stick that somewhere. You know, I can imagine people used to bring all their stuff on a horse and carts. The horse needs a little drink. We need to have a trough for water for the horses. Another little planter. And then, yeah, I'm just finding all kinds of stuff in here. There we go. There's some cargo for a train station. That's the kind of stuff that we want. So yeah, stick that around the outside. The sun's setting. It's starting to light up. Need a nice little crane to put our cargo in. Stick that in there. Yeah, it's looking quite nice. And I think that's about it. I think that's the courtyard come together. Once it's all walled in, with the castle walls around the whole courtyard, we can then go in and put in all the little details that will just really tie it all together and make it feel like the courtyard of a castle. But yeah, it's starting to look quite nice. And there we have it. The courtyard's starting to come together. So if you've got any other ideas, let me know down below, and I will see you next time.